With immense pleasure, great enthusiasm, and a deep sense of privilege, I extend a very warm welcome to each one of you to Confab 26, a multidisciplinary international conference. Respected and honored dignitaries, Dr. Vishwesh Akre, Assistant Professor, Computer and Information Session. Mr. Kunal Pimperkhede is a technology leader in the financial service domain, having led technology deliveries at organizations such as TIAA, JP Morgan, Nomura, and Lehman Brothers, a research scholar at IIT Kharagpur, and the speaker for today's session. Dr. Gurunath Pandit, Secretary, Chikitsak Samuha, Dr. Suman Pawar, Member, Chikitsak Samuha Advisory Board Research Cell. Dr. Mala Kharkar, Chief Education Officer. Professor Dr. Gautam Sonkamre, In Charge Principal, Patkar-Varde College. Dr. Nilima Prabhu, Vice Principal, Patkar-Varde College. Distinguished scholars, vice principals, chief coordinators, respected faculty members, researchers, and enthusiastic participants, a very good morning to one and all. I, Ms. Nikita Madwar, from the Department of Information Technology, and I consider it a true honor to welcome you on behalf of the organizing committee of Chikitsak Samuhas, Sir Sitaram and Lady Shantabai, Patkar College of Arts and Science, and VP Varde College of Commerce and Economics to the Multidisciplinary International Conference Confab 26 organized by IQAC. It is on platforms such as this that we receive invaluable opportunities to question, reflect, innovate, and expand the boundaries of our understanding. As we are reminded, progress is born when ideas are shared, challenged, and reimagined. Confab 26 embodies a true multidisciplinary spirit, offering participants an opportunity to explore knowledge in a holistic, inclusive, and forward looking manner, resonating strongly with the evolving landscape of higher education and research. Building upon the remarkable success of Confab 25, which witnessed vibrant intellectual exchange and scholarly dialogue, this year's conference is further elevated through its global outlook and academic collaborations, symbolizing a powerful convergence of ideas, innovations, integrity, and inquiry. Today marks another important milestone as Confab 26 continues its journey as a truly international academic platform, bringing together brilliant minds from diverse disciplines and regions across the globe. We gather here today seeking blessings for success of our collective academic endeavors. In keeping with the sacred tradition, we commence this academic congregation with the lighting of the lamp, a timeless symbol of knowledge dispelling ignorance, invoking the divine blessing of Goddess Saraswati, the embodiment of wisdom and learning. I respectfully invite all the dignitaries to kindly join in for the ceremonial lighting of the lamp, marking the formal commencement of Confab 26 and our shared pursuit knowledge and truth. Thank you, respected dignitaries. May this conference be blessed with clarity of thought, ethical inquiry, intellectual enlightenment, and meaningful outcomes. Now, I request honored dignitaries Dr. Vishwesh Akre, Mr. Kunal Pimparkhede, Dr. Gurunath Pandit, Dr. Mala Kharkar, Professor Dr. Gautam Sonkamre to kindly come to the dais. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Embarking on the journey ahead, I shall now take a few moments to introduce our renowned institution, Chikitsak Samuha's Patkar-Varde College, an empowered autonomous college affiliated to the University of Mumbai, located in Mumbai's western suburbs. The college has achieved an A plus NAC accreditation with an institutional score of 3.53, ISO certified, DPT Star Scheme Awardee, and recognitions such as India's Education Excellence Award and Best College Award by the University of Mumbai. Ranked 40th in the Education World India Autonomous College Ranking and 13th in Maharashtra. The college emphasizes affordable quality education aligned with national educational policy standards. Our mission is not only to deliver rigorous academics, but also to empower students to discover their passions, think critically, and synthesize knowledge to achieve their career aspirations. Patkar-Varde College offers a comprehensive range of programs, including graduate and postgraduate degrees, diplomas, certificate courses, and 9 PhD centers in arts, commerce, and science, emphasizing both traditional and emerging fields. Patkar-Varde College boasts a state-of-the-art campus with resources like a language lab and editing studio to foster language and media skills. The college is a nodal center for IIT Bombay's virtual lab and NPTEL local chapter and affiliated with IIT Bombay's spoken tutorials along with being a member of UR Tourism Club. That's not it. Our Green Campus initiative, Niramay, promotes zero waste practices and environmental consciousness. Another feather in our cap includes collaborative research initiatives with premier institutions like BARC, TIFR, IIT Bombay, Hofkin Institute, and so on, and international collaborations with RMUTT Thailand, Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, Heriot-Watt University based Business School, University of London, Institute of Management Accountants, to name few. And I can proudly say that we launched India's first satellite center in Kudar for hospitality and catering, expanding industry relevance for rural students. We are recognized as a skill development institute by the government of Maharashtra, and we also participate in European Commission funded projects CS for All under the Erasmus Plus program, enhancing our educational framework and cybersecurity standards. Now, I would like to introduce Confab. Confab 25 featured over 153 research paper presentations published in the international peer-reviewed journal, namely International Journal of Innovative Research in Technology, with an impact factor of 8.01. Confab 26 received over 159 abstracts across diverse disciplines. All abstracts will be published in the Confab 4th edition book with an ISBN number 9789356263659. And all research papers will be published in the international peer-reviewed journal, namely International Journal of Novel Research and Innovative Development, which has an impact factor of 9.57. We shall now proceed with the formal felicitation ceremony, a gesture of our respect and gratitude towards our distinguished guest. It is my privilege to formally introduce and felicitate our esteemed chief guest for the conference, Dr. Vishwesh Lakshmikant Akre. Dr. Vishwesh Akre is an assistant professor, computer and information science, a higher college of technology, Dubai, and has also worked a divisional chair. He has acted as an honorary member of IEEE ITT 2018 conferences, Dubai, conference program chair, IEEE ITT 2017 conference, IEEE ExCom committee member, UAE section 2017 to 2018, IEEE BS counselor, HCT Dubai Women's College 2013 to 2018. He is widely recognized for his work in the areas of research integrity, open science, reproducibility, and the ethical use of digital and AI-driven tools in research. With the rapid evolution of the global research ecosystem, Dr. Akre's work addresses some of the most critical challenges faced by researchers today, including misinformation, predatory publishing, and AI-generated content. His scholarly approach strongly advocates transparent research practices, emphasizing open access, open data, and open methodologies while encouraging researchers to harness AI responsibly as an enabler of creativity and critical thinking rather than a substitute for original scholarship. Through his academic contributions, Dr. Akre continues to inspire researchers, educators, and students to uphold their values of ethical scholarship, trust, and academic excellence. I now request Dr. Gurunath Pandit, Secretary Chikitsak Samuha, to kindly felicitate Dr. Vishwesh Akre. Thank you, sir. I would now like to introduce Mr. Kunal Pimparkhede, today's speaker. Mr. Kunal Pimparkhede is a seasoned industry professional and research-driven technology leader, having led technology deliveries at TIA, JP Morgan, Nomura, and Lehman Brothers. He brings extensive global experience from leading financial institutions, including his role as former vice president at JP Morgan Chase and Company. With a strong background in enterprise technology, data platforms, AI, ML, and large scale system architecture, he has successfully led high impact projects across investment banking and retirement technology domains. Mr. Pimparkhede, a research scholar at IIT Kharagpur and a published author with Cambridge University Press, effectively bridges academic, research, and real world industry applications, providing insights that are highly valuable to both academia and industry professionals. I now request Dr. Mala Kharkar, Chief Education Officer, to kindly felicitate Mr. Kunal Pimparkhede. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to introduce respected Dr. Gurunath Pandit. It is my privilege to introduce Dr. Gurunath Pandit, the respected Secretary of Chikitsak Samuha. As a key figure in the management of our institute, Dr. Pandit has played a pivotal role in its growth and upliftment. His strategic vision and leadership have transformed our institute into a vibrant center of learning and innovation. Dr. Pandit's management approach focuses on excellence and sustainable development. He has implemented effective policies that optimize resources, enhance infrastructure, and create an environment that fosters learning and growth. By building strong industry connections and encouraging collaborative initiatives, he has expanded opportunities for both students and faculty. His emphasis on skill development and entrepreneurship has empowered students to become confident, capable leaders. Dr. Pandit Sir's unwavering commitment to nurturing talent and driving holistic growth continues to guide our institute toward excellence. Today, we are truly honored to have with us a leader whose management expertise and dedication inspire us all. Now, I request respected in charge principal, Professor Dr. Gautam Sonkamri, to felicitate Dr. Gurunath Pandit. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to introduce respected Dr. Suman Pawar. Dr. Suman Pawar is a member of Chikitsak Samuha Advisory Board Research Cell. Ma'am, we are grateful to have you with us today. Now, I request Mrs. Namrata Kavle, Chief Coordinator of Technology, to felicitate Dr. Suman Pawar. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to introduce our respected CEO, Dr. Mala Kharkar. It is my pleasure to introduce our Honorable Chief Education Officer, Dr. Mala Kharkar, a visionary leader and a relentless advocate for educational excellence. Dr. Mala Kharkar's dedication to the growth and success of our institute is truly inspiring. She constantly strives to elevate the institution, working tirelessly to create an environment that fosters innovation, collaboration, and holistic development. Her commitment to the betterment of the institute is evident in her proactive approach to exploring new opportunities. She always on the lookout for avenues that can enhance the learning experience, expand global reach, and strengthen industry connections. Her strategic vision has led numerous initiatives that bridge the gap between academia and industry, preparing our students to excel in the real world. Through her dedicated efforts, our institute has become an active participant in global collaboration and transformative learning. Today, we are truly honored to have with us a leader whose passion, vision, and tireless commitment continue to shape the future of our institute, making it a beacon of excellence and opportunity. I request respected in-charge principal, Professor Dr. Gautam Sonkamre, to felicitate CEO Dr. Mala Kharkar. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to introduce respected in-charge principal, Professor Dr. Gautam Sonkamre, a distinguished academician, researcher, and mentor whose contributions to Hindi scholarship and higher education are truly commendable. Sir is an accomplished research guide in recognition of his contributions to literature and academia. He was honored with the prestigious Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Fellowship Samman by the Bharatiya Dalit Sahitya Academy, Delhi. Sir, we are happy to have you with us today. Now, I request Mrs. Swati Takkar, Chief Coordinator of Commerce and Management, to felicitate in-charge Principal Professor Dr. Gautam Sonkamre. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I request Dr. Gurunath Pandit to address the audience.
Good morning. Good morning, all of you. Honorable dignitaries on the dais, the professors sitting in front of me, who is grooming all of you in not necessarily only research, but the livelihood too. Also, all you students, most welcome to this new Confab edition. Of course, people have said something about Patkar College and how do we trigger the newer ideas and inculcate in the minds of the students and all. It's in my opinion, it's not a great deal. The research happens to be, or has to be, ought to be the lifestyle. The research has to be the day-to-day aspects of yours should be evolving the newer ideas, and ultimately those newer ideas have to go ahead with something to do with the betterment of the mankind, something to do with what is beneficial to the society, something to do with what is beneficial to the entire world. That is what these people have been doing. I'll tell you a couple of examples in 2 minutes. Patkar College has been definitely taking newer and newer ideas, which comes to our mind probably first time in the entire country. Like she mentioned, the satellite center. She mentioned about a couple of courses which are not being offered by the other colleges or the other universities in the entire India, like pharma drug science or quality control, which gives the birth to the students in the industry. Yes, sir, you will be pleased to know that very near future, Honorable Prime Minister has been talking for last 10 years and further also about all you guys, rather than doing and bringing to the newer ideas of your, and they should be implemented and becoming the entrepreneurs in your own respect. Today, a technology and a finance man, what a best combination you have got. A technology person, you just think about the technology which will be seeing the light of the day, and you become the entrepreneur with the help of the finance guy. Please, Patkar College is there to help you out. And in the very near future, I'm announcing this particular thing today, that sir, we are going to have an incubation lab, not necessarily only for Patkar College, but also for other colleges students too. All of you, including the professors, the life is a big span. 102 years old Indian going to US gets a Nobel Prize. Please try to understand. So the research, the study, the newer ideas, getting it inculcated in your mind and get it implemented doesn't end anywhere. See, all the Nobel laureates, they are all 85, 80 plus. So if at all they can work, why you people cannot start thinking for the newer ideas and getting it implemented from today itself? Patkar College will always patron you. That incubation center which is likely to come, all you guys will be in the position to take the help. How the new ideas keeps coming to our mind. Recently, 8 days back, myself, Mala Madam and other gentlemen, we were talking about how do we take those who have been deprived of the further post-graduation education in their life. Please try to understand. Maybe my father was just a graduate or a postgraduate, but he could not do his excellent work. Your mummy, your aunties, your daddy, they must have been the graduates and earning the bread and butter for their family. Sir, you will be happy. Kunal, just now while talking for 5 minutes, he told, look, in his busiest of the schedule, he has registered himself after 20 years for his PhD in Kharagpur IIT. Claps to him. If at all after 20 years, a busiest of the person can think over of extrapolating his ideas and extrapolating his career, and just for the heck of it, he would not do it. Just don't do anything for the heck of it. You have to have the goal. It has to percolate to the society further now. If at all after 20 years, Kunal, you will be happy to know that the same kind of a small idea which we have crystallized just 8 days back and we will be implemented with effect from this June, sir, is second innings education. What is that? Anybody guesses? Second innings education. Sir, your dad, your mom, your aunties, maybe wherever we go to the bank, that bank employee, he may be just a commerce graduate. You know, why can't he pursue his further education? Why can't a BCom guy can do his MCom? Why a stagnated educational effort? Why not a 60 years old, just retired person wants to pursue his further education and have his MCom done? Patkar College will be doing it in second innings education. क्या है भाई इसमें नया? कुछ भी नया नहीं. To bring them in the mainframe, implementing the ideas and implementing those ideas for the benefit of the section of the society gives at Chikitsa gives us all immense pleasure. Please do the same thing. Research also should be society centric. Please do newer and newer ideas. Scratch your head. Go talk to people, thespians like these guys. Dr. Akre, we have been very much fortunate to have him second time after 8-9 years. And believe me, before 9 years, whatever he has delivered here, the smart city win, which I do recollect, please try to understand. After 9 years, if at all a person like me can recollect whatever he had presented at that time, he must have. It is not to flatter you. It is definitely a thing of future. Please think of future for your future. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you for sharing your insights and wonderful words of motivation. I request all the dignitaries to release the conference proceedings. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I request our chief guest, Dr. Vishwesh Akre, to declare international conference open.
Very good morning. So we are about to start a very important event, multidiscipline conference. You know, I have visited many conferences before. Most of the conferences were technology conferences. Okay, from my young days in education till now. IEEE, you must have heard IEEE. How many of you have heard IEEE? With IT and engineering, IEEE you cannot miss, isn't it? And for computing, ACM, Applied Computing Machinery, right? So I visited many countries also in these conferences. Recently, I attended one conference called HETL by the Education Department. And it was really multidisciplinary. the amount of knowledge that I gained from perspectives of different discipline people is really great, So I appreciate your initiative to start a multidisciplinary conference, because then you get perspectives from, like, I remember we used to say left brain and right brain technology, and right. So you should mix those two. So I should just declare it as the start. So I welcome you all to the conference, and we declare it as the start of this conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Research today stands at a crucial crossroads where technology, ethics, transparency, and trust must go hand in hand. To guide us through this vital and timely theme, Dr. Akre will be delivering his keynote address titled Building Trust in Research, Open Science, Reproducibility, and Integrity Challenges in the Digital Misinformation Landscape. This session promises to offer deep insights, practical guidance, and a renewed perspective on conducting responsible and credible research in the digital era. I now invite Dr. Vishwesh Akre to kindly take over and share his valuable thought with us. And now I request all the dignitaries to occupy the front seats.
Yes, sir. I would like to move around. Hello. Clear? Let's make it more interactive, okay? That's why I didn't want to be stationed in one place. You put the slides, or you have a picture? Yes. Thank you. Just. Yes, it's this one. Good. So today we are going to talk about this important topic. Okay, research. Plus open keywords. I'm just telling the keywords. Research plus open, reproducibility, and misinformation. You see some correlation? You see some correlation in all these things? Is research associated with information? Do you think? Generating new ideas, sir was telling, generating new ideas, right? So information. So there is a very thin margin between information and misinformation, right? And that brings the challenge of trust issues, isn't it? That brings the challenge of trust issues. So I am going to discuss some of these things, and these are on the ethical side of it. Currently, I am even developing courses in ethics. So I wanted to give a topic on these things. So let us see what we have. So what we have here, why I have chosen this topic, just a few slides I am going to talk about it, and all of these things. In today's world, can you not think about AI? If you not think about AI, then you are in a different world, I tell you. AI is changing the world, we are all witnessing, isn't it? So our important topic will also be AI, and when you talk about AI, you talk about prompts, isn't it? So we are also going to talk about prompt engineering. It's very difficult in less time to give all this information, but I will try to do it. Okay. And at the end, I will share some best practices. So that is my idea for today, right? So let us start with this. Trust in research is becoming weaker because I told already that there is a concept of misinformation possible. I will also talk later about something called as disinformation. What is the difference between misinformation and disinformation? Okay. Is there too much information available online? I want to make it interactive. Is it? You know how much? Every day information. I just googled it in the morning. 2.5 quintillion. That is 2.5 and 18 zeros bytes every day. Videos, text. Is it possible to review that much information? It is not possible, right? So that's why this concept of trust issues come. Isn't it? Too much information, overload of information. So all is not reliable. AI tools very fast. You know, NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA processors, rare earth minerals. You know, all of this going into the processors. So they make it fast. But is it still having the reliable part of it? Not yet. So we all should learn how to cope with this problem. Right? So an example of a research. Some researchers did research in education, online learning studies, and they published 21 results. When other researchers try to do the same thing, okay, you will be very surprised to see that only 9 of the results matched with the other results. So can we study from pharmacy? If his research lab makes a new formula for medicine, and that is not reproducible by industry, it is of waste, isn't it? It can harm lives. So this is a problem, reproducibility. Same thing if you see here, some research was done in the last decade, and very few studies are able to replay. In my own experience, I have studied so many educational management theories. They keep on changing after some time, isn't it? So these are the things. So I'm going to talk in the latest part about open science and reproducibility, how it can be able to manage this particular thing. So this is just things. I have 44 slides and very less time, so I will skip some of the slides which are not, I think, are not important. Here, okay, let's go to the next one. What are AI tools known for? What should be the main purpose of AI tools? Should it to generate new knowledge? Do you think? Is AI capable to generate new knowledge? No. No. AI learns from patterns and it searches thousands of patterns and gives you the similarities of that pattern. Right? So AI writing is based on patterns, but human writing is based on understanding, isn't it? Creativity. Understanding and creativity. So AI tools can be used to create summary. Very good. If I get a summary, I can make my own writing, isn't it? So don't copy paste. AI is not a copy paste tool, isn't it? Unfortunately, most of the people are using it as ChatGPT copy paste assignment. Totally wrong. Totally wrong. So what will happen? Sorry. So copy paste if you use, and if AI has misinformation, what will happen? Copy paste. So I'm going to give the topic of open science practices. You know what is iOS is proprietary software by Apple. iOS is proprietary software by Apple, and no other phone can use it, right? And in other words, in IT words, it's called closed source software, right? But Android is an open. Your work. So preprint is that concept. Publish your paper without publishing it formally, so that you can improve it, right? Make it more documented. So this is preprint. Openly available, open access. Second feature. As I told you, it is not formally published, so it is not peer reviewed. Right? You said in the introduction, madam, the journal where we are going to print our publication is a impact factor, right? So that is a peer review, right? Peer review is very, very important, isn't it? Very important. Time stamping. Why do you think time stamping is important? Ideas? You should have ownership of your idea or no? You should have, no? If you have a new idea, you should have ownership. So who put the idea first? Time stamp. You know, okay, we get this power, right? How many types of power are there? AC, DC, alternating current and direct current. You know who invented direct current? Same person, the bulb person, Thomas Edison. Everybody knows it. Who invented alternating current? You know who? You know the electric car Tesla? Nikola Tesla. Many people didn't know this fact. So alternating current is by Nikola Tesla. So idea came first from him, isn't it? And that is the inspiration for the name of the car, electric car, by Elon Musk, isn't it? So time stamping is important to get the idea. Otherwise, there will be a trust issue again. Copying of idea, not good, isn't it? Not good. So this is why this is a very important platform. So you just sharing of your research, you are encouraged to put your research here to get feedback from the community. And once you improve your paper, yes, it is more ready to be published in journals, isn't it? More ready to be published in journal, and you can have different versions uploaded there to track the changes in that particular research paper. Then zero. Okay. What did I say? What are the 4 things in research important? A research project important. You work on that research project. Do you need data? We talk about machine learning, right? AI algorithms. Can you train the algorithm without data? Cannot. Isn't it? You cannot train the algorithm without data. So there needs to be some data available to you. If you generate your own data, that will not be good. Okay? It will be biased. You know, bias is not allowed in research. Research should be non-biased, isn't it? So this is where the second part comes, the data. Zenodo excellent for data, right? So what does Zenodo do? Share the data and code. So even the codes for the algorithm and the data is available in Zenodo. So you can reuse it, reproducibility. No, we are talking this topic as reproducibility, right? It is, you are allowed to share these outputs and data sets and reports, right? It's available to all. So others can reuse the data and repeat and verify whether they get the same result, right? We talked about that in the initial part. So Zenodo Excel platform. Next comes OSF. Okay. So AR, XIV, I told you research paper you put, it gives you the review. Next one, data, it gives now to handle the whole project, the whole research project. Okay. This is a very good tool for that. The whole research project, to handle the whole research project. So it has a very good flowchart, transparency, research project management. When you do a research project, you have project management. So it has project management capabilities. Open science framework, right? And it is available to all. So all of these 3 things are important. Do you need to use all of them, or do you need to use one of them? Depends. If you are working on a research project, maybe you need all of them, right? Because you work on the research project, manage the project through OSF, right? Use the data from Zenodo and publish your paper in ARX, isn't it? But if you are doing only a research paper, maybe ARX is important. And if that research paper involves data, Zenodo is important, right? So not all 3 are important. Any of them can be used as per your convenience, isn't it? So these are the 3 platforms. Important AI. Let us go and talk about AI. So AI is artificial intelligence, right? What is the difference between human intelligence and artificial intelligence? What is the difference? In the start, I told you, patterns, AI recognizes patterns, we are more creative intelligence. So natural intelligence, no? Artificial intelligence and natural intelligence. So now what I have studied? Catalyst. What is a catalyst? Yes? Something that can make some process faster. Pressure cooker. Can it cook by itself? But pressure cooker used since ages, no, for what? To make it faster. To get the steam faster or whatever. I'm not a Amar sir will tell what is the best use of the pressure cooker. So pressure cooker is a catalyst for the kitchen, isn't it? For making the food. So AI should be used as a catalyst. AI is, there is something called as explicit and implicit. You know the difference, explicit and implicit. If I go and open chat GPT, I am doing use of explicit AI because I am opening a tool and using it. AI is implicitly used in many tools now. If you go to Google, there is an AI search in Google. Have you observed it? Right? So search engines are with AI now. Forget search engine. You open any Microsoft product, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Outlook, AI, Copilot. Microsoft Copilot, Sir will tell, right? Copilot is so popular now. So AI you cannot miss now, isn't it? So search engine, writing tools, even research software have lot of AI. Lot of benefits. It can save your time. Even idea generation it can help, but don't, as I told you, don't always depend. Use it as a catalyst to support, not as a primary tool, isn't it? Can you read the third sentence? Learning to use AI responsibility is better than pretending it does not exist. Can you pretend that AI does not exist? Okay, I'll give you another example. Not AI. Which was the first phone in the world? Smartphone. It started with M. Motorola, isn't it? Motorola was the first phone. How many of the new generation remember Motorola? Khalas, isn't it? In Dubai, Khalas is very famous. Khalas, finished. Right? Okay. Motorola, after Motorola, what came? Nokia. We all used Nokia when it was started. Button, oh, button, fantastic. Like computer keyboard. Then better than Nokia came BlackBerry. Is any of them available now? Most of them are gone. Gone with the wind, isn't it? What is there now? Touch. So if you pretend technology does not exist, you will be obsolete, isn't it? So now all the phones are touch phones. So of course Apple and Android, they are the big platforms for this. So you should use AI. You should not say that I do not use AI. Not good. Okay. So use the AI to brainstorm ideas and research questions, but not to write the final answer. Improve your writing, and you can also try to find gaps in research. Very good tool to find gaps in research. But the fourth point is the most important point. What is the fourth point? Always review, verify, and add your own thinking. What did I say? AI writes from patterns. What do you write? Creativity, intelligence, understanding, sympathy. AI doesn't have sympathy. You have sympathy, right? So this is AI. So why the finger of robot is up and human is down? Because this is the most important part, right? So this is the most important part. It could have been other way, right? But it is here. So you take the knowledge, but you use your own creativity to enhance it, and that is research, isn't it? That is research. So this diagram is also very important. So when you want to use AI, you need to know how to use it. So what we write inside the dialog box of ChatGPT is called a prompt, right? It's called a prompt. Some words in English or in other languages. It comes in different languages, right? So that is called a prompt. So prompt engineering is how to write it properly, right? Prompt engineering is how to write it properly. In the hot phase, but one wins. Who wins? The one who has the best rider. So that prompt acts as the rider. The rider can maneuver the horse through difficult challenges and make it win, isn't it? So the comparison can be that particular thing. So vague prompts can lead to vague answers, and vague prompts cannot save you from these two problems of AI. If you write a vague prompt, you will suffer from two consequences. One is hallucination, another is verbosity. Both are big problems in AI, isn't it? So let us see what are these problems. Verbosity. Verbs, right? We learned. Sorry. Still acclimatizing to here. So verbs means language. So lot of words, excessive length. In the prompt you write, okay, write an essay about a topic, 50 words. Okay. You ask him, no, make it 100 words. Okay. Make it 1,000 words. Can it write? It will write. Knowledge will be same. So what will be there? Repetition. Just changing the words, changing the things, right? So that is called verbosity. Stating simple ideas in many words. Example. Okay, if I say, as there is a change in the environment and what precipitation, it will be better to use umbrella to safeguard yourself. Very long explanation. So it's likely to rain. Use an umbrella. Right? So the first one is verbosity. The second one is direct answer, isn't it? So excess variety. Lot of concept is redundant in AI, and that is because of verbosity. Circumlocution, very important. You know what is circum? Taking around the point instead of being direct. Just now I gave the example, umbrella. After the whole story, who is the main character? Right? You are still not able to find. Then it is a circumlocution. And no information given. Actual quality information is very low in the long dialogue. So this is verbosity. So this problem we have to solve, and the one way to solve it is prompt engineering. Second problem, hallucination. You know what is hallucination? Imagining things which are not there. Humans can do it. Unfortunately, some people have medical condition, cannot. What is that concept in medical? I think they see some things. There is a word, I forget the word. Schizophrenia, right? Schizophrenia. So some movies are also made on that, right? They imagine things, right? Nothing wrong with them. It's their medical condition. You cannot do anything wrong. Humans, that is not responsible of that human. But there is some humans which can have hallucination, you know, when drugs overdose, hallucination, alcohol, too much alcohol, hallucination. So humans can suffer hallucinations, right? But AI automatically does hallucinations. AI is not built to prevent that hallucinations. So inventing details which are not existing. Some chat GPT said historical fabrication. Abraham Lincoln signed the Declaration of Independence in 1776. He was not born at that time. So check the information. Check the information. Once I was doing a research in digital marketing, and you know, how many of you know digital marketing, SEO, SEM, search engine optimization, search engine marketing, right? There is a subtle difference between them. Now, when AI gave some ideas about a particular topic, I asked it, how can this be SEO? If you are paying for it, it has to be SEM. Oh, yes, I was wrong. Right? So, that is why this is very important, right? And narrative consistency. What happens in hallucination is difficult to find hallucination because it will write it very confidently and very consistent. Same thing, same false information very properly. It is difficult to find that information. So that's why we should use prompt engineering. So what is prompt engineering? Clear and specific instructions. Ask the right questions. These are just keywords of prompt engineering. Okay, they may find very simple, but they are important, right? Context. What do you mean by context? Context means situation, right? Context means situation. A same information can change if the context changes, isn't it? So, ideal locomotive design, a car design, may change for snow conditions and for heat conditions, right? The car should have some kind of different mechanism to handle the snow and the heat. So, context. And here, to control the verbosity, the length, you can use control mechanisms. Give it specific words, bullet points, and so on. And the last one, you remember the thing, checking. The checking is the most important here. Right? So there are some frameworks, there are many. Every time new one will come, if you see to go to LinkedIn, people have published many frameworks. It's not possible to share all of them. I choose two of them, race and care. Maybe you heard about them, maybe you didn't hear about them. So what is a framework? Framework is used, it helps users to structure prompts clearly so that AI can understand what the task, what it wants to do. Context. I told you the context is very important. Situation, isn't it? And output. So you can control the verbosity through the output. So you can reduce the verbosity and hallucinations. So let us see these two types of frameworks, race and care. Let us take a scenario. I think most of us have seen a robot vacuum cleaner, right? Which will clean the room with a unsupervised. This is called unsupervised use of robot to clean the house. So any obstruction is there, it will not hit that and clean it properly and then go and charge itself back in the charging station, isn't it? Suppose a company which is developing a robot vacuum cleaner wants to explain to the first year students about this concept of the robot vacuum cleaner, how it can avoid obstructions and all these things. You want to get a simple and controlled explanations for whom? For expert or for first year students? First year students. So you have to limit that audience. You have to explain that audience. If I use an uncontrolled or unprompt engineering, non-prompt engineering prompt, and I said explain how a robotic vacuum cleaner works, it will give the information, no problem. It will say about that it is an automated device, cleans the floor, avoids obstacles. Is it very detailed or is it for a first year student? What the first year student will learn from this? Can he learn or can she learn anything from it? It's general information. Everybody knows this information, isn't it? So, what is the problem? No role is defined. It's not for a student, expert. Focus. How does it avoid delegation? How does it avoid obstacle? Only it avoids obstacle. It doesn't show how. So all of these things are a problem with this particular prompt. So let us see how the race can work. So race is role, action, context, and expectation. Did we talk about this in the start? Role for whom? What is the role of that AI or what it is developing? What action is required? What is the situation? And what is the expected outcome? Right? What is the expected outcome? Who it is to become, action, context, and expectation. So let us see what can be the prompt. So here the prompt is act as an engineer. Role is act as a robotic engineer. Then only you can explain the technicalities, isn't it? Only engineer can explain the technicalities. Clearly specify what is the most important part. Obstacle avoidance, most important part. Context, so for whom it is? It is for students, right? Not experts, students. And who have basic knowledge. So it is information about sensors or something. And expectation, clear, 3 bullet points. Explaining 3 bullet points. You want to put it on presentation, right? So this is the example of REST framework. How to write the prompt? Like this. So, role, act as robot engineer. Second part, so you can divide it into 3 lines. And its outcome is like this. And you said 3 points and 1 real life example, isn't it? So 3 bullet points, sense the environment, it uses sensors, and it gives some information about sensors. For first year student, they may know these things, right? So ultrasonic, cameras, and so on. Decide on safe distance so that it can obstacle. If it goes fast, obstacle will be hit, isn't it? And act and adjust. So this algorithm will work on act and adjust. So some information is given, right? And this is an example here. So it gives the example of a chair leg. You can detect the chair leg and move. So this is an example of this, and this was from ChatGPT. This prompt was on ChatGPT. Let us see the next one, care. Care now starts with the context. You cannot avoid context. I told you, you cannot avoid context, right? Situation. Action, it was the first one, isn't it? Here. The second one, act as engineer. So, A, action, rules. So here, rules was, what can you compare rules here? With the expectation, right? And example. So here, it specifies this particular framework has clear indication of example. In the first one, we have to add it. So again, context is for first year students situation. This is ask, action, rules, and example. So let us see what it does. Now here the example given is the cat. That is difficult. Chair is difficult or cat is difficult? Which obstacle is difficult? Because chair will not move, cat will move. So we write those things inside the prompt. Again, this is chat GPT. So again, it will explain walking cat because it saw that particularly you put the picture with the prompt. So it took the walking cat from the picture, wall or chair, and avoid hitting them. And again, they will inform about the sensors. You got it? So prompt engineering can be a very good tool. For what are the two most important benefits? Let's test your information from before. What are the two most important things which prompt engineering can help you? Two things. Hallucination and verbosity, right? These are the two main problems with AI, isn't it? So these two problems can be solved through prompt engineering. So we come to the best practices. So what did we learn up till now? Then we can find the best practices. What did we learn? We learned research is important. Not only research is important, reproducibility of the research is also important, right? So reproducibility of the research. What are the platforms for reproducibility? We saw the open platforms, isn't it? And using the AI. So first, best practices use the open science platform. I give you only 3 examples. You can search and you can find so many of them, right? ARXID, Zenodo, and which one I gave you the third one? Open Science Framework for projects, research projects. Always focus on documentation of research. When you are doing research, always the documentation is very important. Use AI. Use AI, but use proper prompt engineering. Best practice. Then the figure. What was the figure? Now, human. So always verify your information, whatever you get from the AI. Best practice, isn't it? And yeah, in the latest slide, I am going to discuss something about predatory research. Predatory research, right? You know predator. What is a predator? You know what is a predator? Tiger, snake, the anaconda. They will wait for the prey to come, isn't it? Predator. So there are journals like that. We are going to see what is that journal. So low quality research. What it can lead to? Remember? Disinformation and misinformation. Predatory, mostly disinformation. And treat AI as a support tool, not a replacement for human judgment. Judgment should always be human. Right? So there are some predictable websites to check the quality of the journal. Scopus number 1. Any journal which is Scopus indexed, close eyes. It will be good. Right? It will be good. Web of Science also. Web of Science is also very good for reputable journals. Right? Nowadays there is a lot of digital information being available. You know, every day approximately 5,000 research papers are published worldwide. Approximately. This is just a figure from somewhere. So where do you publish those? There are some kind of open access journals. Because so much information is there, you need open access journals. So there is a very good repository of open access journals, which is called Directory of Open Access Journals. Then the last two things are very important. These are the journal repositories, but this is retraction. You know what is retraction? People found out that this is an incorrect article, or this website publishes wrong information, wrong journal papers. So there is a retract watch. It keeps a watch on these articles and it puts them in their repository. So find out if you want to publish in a journal, find out whether it is in the retraction watch or not. Isn't it? COPE is with ethics. You remember I told you I am doing some work on ethics, research ethics. So COPE is a very good committee for ethics, publication ethic guidelines. So here COPE can be used whether to find out whether that journal implements the COPE practices, ethical practices. If the journal follows the ethical practices, more likely it is not a predatory journal. It is a proper journal, isn't it? So these are some examples of predatory journals. So in the US Federal Trade Commission found out and the court ruled against a journal called Omics Group, and made a judgment charging them $50 million because they published wrong information, incorrect research, and many of that research was medical, which can impact human lives, isn't it? So this is an example of predatory journal, omics. So always avoid this kind of journals. So if you see search in Wikipedia, also they will give this information, omics, predatory journal. Another example, SCIRP. This is, I think, from China. This journal is from China. This is the person, Wuhan. You know Wuhan? What is Wuhan? How many of you remember Wuhan? COVID. I think bat or something. It started from bat, right? That came, then it spread in the world, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, omicron, sir. Right? So Wuhan, again spreading this information, is it? So this is predatory journal. So what is the comparison of trustworthy journal and predatory journal? I am giving this information because in your practice as new researchers, you should know these things well so that you can choose the better platforms for your research, isn't it? So as I told you, indexation is very important. Scopus or Web Science, trustworthy journal. These are never ever there in Scopus, will not accept them, right? Any journal, you talk, madam, about peer review. Your review is reviewed by other experts. Very important part. Here, okay, what do you say? Okay, you submit, tomorrow we will publish, isn't it? Fast, like fast food, Maggi 2 minutes noodles, right? Research cannot be like that, isn't it? So fast acceptance. What is the thing they will do? They will charge you money, isn't it? They will charge you money, fast publications. So predatory journal. Their editorial board will be very good. Here, fake names. If you find those names, maybe they are not existing. Hallucination. They are doing hallucination in the editor's names. And ethics, proper ethics and transparent publication fee, not hidden fees. Right? So these are some comparative factors between trustworthy journals and predatory journals. So this is what we discussed in this particular topic. Right? Disinformation. Open science reproducibility, do you remember? Yes or no? Then sharing your ideas, prompt engineering, race and care framework, predatory journals. So any questions? Any questions? If you have? I think you understood everything or nothing? No question. Okay, I close my speech. Thank you. Thank you. There is a question. Yes, sir.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, audible.
So my question was, quite recently I have had worked with AI a lot. So I was in this corporate job where
Okay.
I had to talk to AI for like 9-10 hours a day.
Okay.
So a problem that we faced was a human would take a job for a task 2 hours to do, but the AI would take only like 10 minutes. But then we would always be paranoid if there would be mistake, and then it would take 3 hours to check that.
Same thing, no, the review process. Maybe the task that you are doing from the AI and using 10, what did you say? 10 minutes, 3 hours and 10 minutes. Maybe you can use prompt engineering to get a better output from the AI too.
Yeah, we did that, but still there was a lack of trust on AI.
Because you know why? Because it's still a new technology. So maybe it's not fully ready. So, but it's a good thing. And at least you are not blindly trusting it. That is important. When you blindly trust it, misinformation, chaos, hallucination, isn't it? Any other?
I had a question that
Yes.
with respect to AI tools, there is a tool that is DeepSeek.
DeepSeek, yes, that is Chinese. China.
So, with respect to the training model, so what I have done was I have actually done the experiment, parallel experiment with ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok,
Gemini, Google,
Grok,
Grok by Musk.
Twitter, and X, and then DeepSeek.
Yeah.
So, if we search for where is Arunachal Pradesh or where is Aksai Chin, Google, Gemini, Grok, they would give the answer. DeepSeek would eventually just give some answer and then haphazardly remove it.
Bias. They introduce bias. It's a bias because Arunachal Pradesh, China considered as their own territory. So they introduce bias in it.
Same as for Aksai Chin as well.
Yes.
So, means on what basis are
So you have to compare. You don't have to use only one tool.
So how are they actually validated then? In that case, is there no organization that actually regulate these kind of websites which ensure that at least whatever they are providing, there is at least some sort of regulation? There isn't any.
At this moment, the regulation for that, maybe, I'm not sure. Dr. Kunal, you have any information about this regulation? Yeah.
We organize today. What is happening is there are government regulations existing to mitigate bias, to mitigate fairness. Sir spoke about Arunachal Pradesh. So there are a lot of fine-tuning data sets that are created by different organizations. And there's a regulation in the US that says if you have tested your model against these public data sets, then we are okay to trust your model.
Yes.
But others, no, definitely not. Now, another part of regulation is that you, within the organization, say Google is creating a model, they need to have a responsible and safe AI division.
Hope committee, ethics committee, Hope committee.
That they will test on their responsible and safe AI ethical data sets. They will sign that off and push it to the regulator. The regulator will look at, okay, these are my fine-tuning data sets. Okay, I have tested against male-female data sets. I have tested against regional data. Is there a regional bias? Is there a bias for casteism? Is there a black or white bias? All of those and the model is scored against them. And based on that score, they'll approve.
Yeah.
But that's an evolving area of research.
Still work under progress. Any other question?
So as a zoologist, I want to bring this subject clarity and some solution for one aspect of AI. I have come to know that AI uses a lot of water for their engines.
Water?
Water.
The water in the sense of technology for cooling, you mean to say?
Yeah, when you are using for the engines, when we are using
Cooling
AI.
mechanism. Even the Google data center uses a lot of water from in Europe. It is situated next to a river,
Yes.
and from the river it will take a lot of water. It's for cooling mechanism. It's a sustainable cooling, yeah, sustainable instead of air conditioning. If you are talking about that,
Data engines, when we ask for a data, the data engines are working throughout, right?
so it generates a lot of heat.
Heat, and then when that heat needs cooling.
Yes,
Right, so,
yes.
so I want to, can we, so our water, the more data, we are using AI or these data engines, the more is our water print, you know, the water, just a carbon print. The print is getting excessive, now. It wasn't there before. So we are wanting to save water, and then especially where water less areas are there.
No, but you know what? I don't think this is a waste of water, isn't it? It's recycled. This water is recycled.
So there is, and
So I did research on this topic. It's a very new question for me, but very different. See, that's why I said a multidisciplinary. You can get question from a totally different perspective. So what as an engineering student, what I feel, if the water is used for sustainable purpose, it has to be reusable. It has to be reused. And Google has a lot of emphasis on sustainability. So I will not be able to answer this question until I know exactly what the water.
when I was teaching my that
Yes.
don't waste water. You should say water, use it. If you are using so much non-computer and all, so how? So I just wanted to ask with
See, from the river, it takes the water, it moves down and it again flows back to the river. And in this case, the water is not contaminated. It is just goes through the heat process in that, and again it goes back to the well. That's my understanding. I may be wrong because I just got this question, right?
Thank you.
But Google and all these data centers, they are very much focused on sustainability. Sir was mentioning college is now sustainable bottles with glass, no plastic use. So that is now a keyword everywhere. Okay. Yes. Question number 2 for you. What is your name?
Ijaz.
Ijaz. Okay, Ijaz.
So, and the question is, I'm from psychology department.
Psychology. Oh, again multidisciplinary.
So,
Okay.
we are now facing a problem in with the use of AI. It's called AI-induced psychosis.
Psychosis.
AI-induced psychosis. So it's a thing when people use too much AI. That AI, of course, the companies don't want to contradict the user, right? They just so if a user says something, it's because people went out a lot on these AIs and they rant about their lives. And when they do the AI, just it confirms their biases. So even if they are wrong, it tells them you are right. So with this, people are caught in their own bubbles that AI just confirms them they are always right and they cannot be wrong. So when these people they just can't accept they are wrong and they just live their lives that they are right and it has led to problems like we have heard cases of children like taking the lives of their parents. People
These are very bad incidents, but it is there. I have also heard about this.
So do you have any idea how to deal with these things?
Let me show you one. Good question. Can you read? In the bottom, can you read? Small words. This is called disclaimer. When we install a new software, okay, terms and conditions. Very good. If you have seen small print.
Okay, no, that.
This is the problem. That's why, in case of children, there should be some monitoring of their AI use. That's my own suggestion. Okay. So that is there because they clearly mention the disclaimer. AI can make mistakes, right? And if you depend on AI as a companion, I don't know your psychological terms, but it can lead to that kind of if somebody is very, what is that called, sir? When somebody is alone, what is that called? Isolated or right? So this can, I'm sorry. the kind of jobs will change. Okay, there will be more weightage, and Pandit sir had highlighted that. There will be more weightage on research-oriented jobs, and there will be less weightage on some structured programming that one was doing before. ChatGPT can generate the code. Right? It can generate the code. I say, give me a login page in HTML. It will give you a login page in HTML. You can also fine tune your prompt. You can say that, give me a login page in HTML, take first name as input, take second name as input, take last name as input, take password as input. Now give me the code. So it will give you the HTML for login page. Correct? You can also do few short prompting. So I'm just trying to continue actually from after research next. So you can do few short prompting. So you can say that here is a login page of Yahoo. Here is a login page of Google. Here is a login page of Patkar-Varde. So I have 3 login pages as an example to ChatGPT. And now I'm saying, give me a login page that is different than these. So now what I'm doing is I'm trying to enforce the GPT to create something that is different by giving some examples that is existing. So it learns from what is existing, that is we call it as few shots. And it creates something ensuring that there is no similarity between them. So these concepts are actually very much based on, if some of you, and it's multidisciplinary, so I just want to acknowledge, some of you who have studied mathematics, have studied vectors. Yeah, so the dot product of vectors is the similarity, right? So when you give these few shots, it will ensure that it will create one more response, which is not as similar as these responses. So it's all vectors behind, nothing. AI was always existing. Somebody asked a question about water actually. I didn't have a direct answer, but I have something to add on that. AI was always existing. What was missing is the power. AI is an application of statistics, right? Given this, given this, given this, given this, that is our experience that we bring to the model. So, for example, I work in some industries and I have some baggage of thoughts. That baggage of thoughts is my experience, right? Ma'am has been working for so long. Her experience is much higher than what our experience is. Because if you take that analogy now to AI models, a model with large training data, a large training data set is much richer. And it can understand your examples much better. But there's a catch. I'll tell you what is a catch and how this continues to what Akil was saying. Zero shot prompting, few shot prompting, all this is really great. What happens is, say I'm working, say for example, there's a bank in which I'm working, okay? And bank does millions of trades. Every day we are doing millions of trades. Millions of trades. And that data itself is around, per day data I tell you is not less than 1000 GB. I can tell you, not less than 1000 GB. Only trades. Trade ID, company name and the volume. Now, take a use case. Okay, take a simple use case. Given these trades, I want the generative AI model to predict the trades for next day for me. But these are my data. This is my trades. GPT does not know. Are you guys with me? If you get bored, just tell me that you're getting bored. I will show some cartoons. Okay, so this large big data set, I cannot give that to GPT as a part of a prompt. To make something that GPT understands my context, there is a research going on fine tuning. So, if you guys have heard about fine tuning, what fine tuning says is create adapters on top of GPT which are domain specific.
So the first research that is actually going on in the industry, because I'm talking about research in industries, is creating domain-specific languages and domain-specific models. I'll give some examples. What about Nice? Nice is a product company. Yeah, Nice is doing a product called as Actimize. And you know what is that product for? Only anti-money laundering. It will, given trades, given transactions, given financial data set, it will only have functions to detect patterns about anti-money laundering. So Actimize is a programming language in itself, like Java, C++, all of these. Now we are creating domain-specific programming languages which will come out with domain-specific functions. If this is the counterparty and if this is the location, then this is a money laundering case. I can write that. So that is one example that I want to call out. The second example that I want to call out is, if you heard about Murex, I don't know, probably not, it's not as famous as Nice. It's a Paris-based organization. They are saying we will create a programming language only for trade settlements. You give us a trade, we will settle it in an exchange. And for that, whatever program that you want to write, in algorithm trading, you write in Murex. What about Salesforce? I think Salesforce you guys have heard about it. Salesforce? CRM. You know the tool, how the tool evolved. It was just a user interface some time back. And now Salesforce is a skill in market that we hire. You know Salesforce, come join us. Salesforce is also turned itself into a programming language for sales and marketing. It will help you predict the needs of your product. It will help you engage with the customers. It will help you to give them offers. It will help you to create counterfactual examples on why this is good for you. It will give you illustrations about the product. All of this is coming out of the box. So if you know Salesforce, come join us. Because we are using Salesforce, big Salesforce and domain. So what I'm saying is domain-specific things are coming all over the way. There is one kind of innovation that is like innovation like ChatGPT or DeepSeek and all. Domain agnostic, open for all, trained on massive set of languages, but they are not specialists. These domains, anything that is designed for a specific domain, is a specialist in itself. I'll call out another example actually. Say for example, I want the ChatGPT to answer. Say I have an account in ICICI Bank, right? And I want ChatGPT to answer what is my account balance. Can it answer? It can't answer because it does not know my personalized data set. So for ICICI Bank, the language model needs to come out, which is hosted within ICICI, that knows about its own customers and can answer for its own customers. That we call it as fine-tuning. I talk about it later in the settings of context, but we call that as fine-tuning. Alright, so that is the first area of research. So you have to see different domains exist, graphic design, by the way, is I don't know, it's getting to a next level. I never imagined how the field evolved, right? Now there are design schools set up. I heard that I'm not sure that's true, but in 2026, BIPS is designing a school in New Bombay called as design school. So design has become a very, very niche and very demanding skill because these models know how to code, but they don't know how to design. And that's why we need designers who could design and orchestrate these models such that best design comes out of them. Creativity, exactly. So being creative more. Yesterday I was in campus interviews and I asked one student, you are applying for a software engineering job and I already have ChatGPT. What value will you add? Correct? So these kind of things, start asking these questions to yourself and mold your career like that. It is just a It's just something that I wanted to share. Okay, before we go ahead, and because this is a multidisciplinary conference, I didn't want to have a communication gap between us. Okay, I wanted to start with something simple because I wanted to ensure that whatever I speak next, you all are able to relate to me and you all are with me. There's a student here and there's an exam time. Just bear with me for a few seconds because I want all of us to be together. Okay? You have exams tomorrow and you didn't study anything. What are you going to do? Look at previous year's question papers. Look at previous year's question papers and try to predict what is going to come tomorrow and study that. Yes? That is AI. Previous year's question papers, previous data set. Look at the previous data set and try to predict what is next. The richer your context of previous years, the more successful you would be in exam because you will study more. So you have been doing this prediction all the time, right? We also do that in industry. So you come across some examples like this, which we call it as regression. Everybody should know this is, but I was very conscious when I was planning for this lecture because for arts, commerce, I don't know, different fields. I just wanted to be. So regression, if you look at it, years of experience 1, this is the salary. 1.3, this is the salary. 1.5, this is the salary. 2.0, this is the salary. I give this as a training data set to the model. And I ask the model, okay, for 1.6, what is the salary? So it knows that it will be somewhere in between. It's that simple. It's given some training data set. We use model's cognitive capabilities. Model establishes correlation between the two columns and says, okay, this is a correlation between the two columns. Now some unknown field comes, it will stand somewhere here. Now, these theoretical examples, what they tell us is, they tell us very clearly that the more this data set, more easy the cognition is. That's why there's some question about water. A lot of data centers are set up inside water because we need huge data centers for storing these informations. If you have heard about big data, has anyone heard about big data? Just for me to know, can you just raise the hand that they are about big data? Okay, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4, 5, 6. Okay, what will be showing raising the hand? 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so 9, 10 people. Okay, I'll just tell you what it is very quickly. That's a crux of this. Okay. What used to happen is, usually you used to have one computer system, and on that computer system you store all this data. But you are out of capacity. So people like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, they came, we have a lot of infrastructure. We will give you our infrastructure, that is cloud. Now then everybody said, okay, if you are giving us infrastructure, give us. Everybody started coming in. Every small organization, even people are using cloud personally. Said that, okay, we need infrastructure, we need it. They said, okay, we are running out of capacity. I just heard that Amazon has now set up under the sea all the data centers because they are falling short of space, and also it helps in heating and cooling. Sustainability is a different topic. I'm not getting into that right now. But cloud is actually a data center as a service. So it is a data center as a service. So you create all of these and you put your data on those data centers. Now, if you are aspiring towards one cloud engineering research, right, there's one open problem that we are tackling. The problem here is that, say I have confidential data with me. I will be very reluctant to store that data on those public data centers. Correct? So they came up with a concept of virtual private cloud. They said that what we will do is we will create firewalls all over and we will reserve this. It's like taking that place on rent and it's your premises at them. So we will give you a feeling that it is only you
to whom we will give access to, so you can save your data very nicely. Okay, fine. We are okay. So we said, okay, that's fine. Amazon set up a virtual private cloud for us. This is our area, nobody will come here. Good. Then we said that now no, but now we also need language model like a chat GPT for us. Can we go to OpenAI? No, we can't go to OpenAI because we are worried about confidentiality. So we called OpenAI and said, OpenAI, please put your product on our virtual area. We will pay you. So OpenAI said, okay, we will do that. So they put their model in this virtual area. These models can do everything. They can break the firewalls, they can hack, they have a lot of cognitive capabilities. So organizations, be clear, organizations are very skeptical to trust these models, although they trust the cloud providers, but trust these models that they will not leak information. Because whatever information that I give to this model can share it with open, because it is in OpenAI team has said OpenAI has access to it. So large generative models, the organizations are very nervous. So creating language models that preserve confidentiality is one of the open research statements if you are spying. Right? Okay, so data analytics. I want to talk about this, and here I want to talk about fine tuning. So which I really gave the context. Yeah, I created some slides so that at least when you see dogs and cats, you at least look at it, okay, what's happening here. If I see all okay. So see, look, we do a lot of data analytics, and any of you heard about clustering? Very famous term. So a lot of data exists. I mean, we spoke about traits some time back. So I asked some, let's say an academic example, right? I asked some professor, what are the type of students in your class, or something like that. I asked that. She will run clustering behind. She will say, there are some students who are above 90. There are some students in 60 to 70. There are some students in 40 to 50. Then I can ask further. I can say, what's gender of these students? Then she is there. Maybe you see, on spot it looks like, all 90s are mainly, students who are female. She can do that, right? Because she's not being very biased here. She's just looking at the spot and answering. That's not bias, right? Okay, my class, all girls are performing very nice. That's another cluster that you see. And some boys are performing at 90, but some are very low. But no girl student is at a lower end. What she is doing is she is doing clustering. That's what clustering is all about. So we have a lot of data analytics. Now these kind of responses is what is expected from a data scientist. Data science jobs we call it as well. So this is one of the examples of data science. I'll tell you one research statement that I am working on right now. So it's an interesting one, which I am calling it as data infusion. I'll name few companies first of all. So there is a company called as Adaptive ML. What they are doing is they are taking the language model and they are converting that language model's text to a SQL. So let me go slow. Let me go slow a bit. For example, I have a lot of data set in my organization, and I say, or in this college I have a lot of data set, and I say, give me all the students who stay between Borivali and Villa. That is the English paper. And I have a database of Patkar-Varde. So that English statement gets converted into a language that this database understands, and we call that as a structured query language, a SQL. Right? So Adaptive ML, one company I know, and there are a few more, they are doing text to SQL translation. So they are training generative AI models like ChatGPT to take a free text and convert them into structured query languages. Right? Then, as an extension of that, so that research is somewhere, it's very mature. By the way. They are, they can take your data set as input, they can take your data set as context. Again, you can't take the data set as context because it's a very big data set. So you need to fine tune that data set into different adapters. So you create adapter for Patkar-Varde, you create adapter for VJTI, you create adapter for IIT Bombay. So these adapters are trained on that specific databases. And you query different adapters. Give me the SQL, give me list of students between Kandili to Virar in VJTI. So the chat GPT will know I have to go to the adapter of VJTI. So technology jobs are focused on work like this: creation of adapters, data science, data analysis, understanding data cognition. So I could emphasize for the students hearing this lecture. Statistics is the most important thing. If you get an opportunity to learn statistics, please do. Please do. AI is an application of statistics. I am learning statistics since last 5 years, that's all. But now, if I would have taken it as a course, I would have been more blessed. So, statistics is something that will help you. Okay. Let's go further. So we talked about clustering. Let's talk about deep learning. What's that? Deep learning. You said we always looked at, I would say, what deep thoughts you have. This is somebody. What a deep thoughts. Because the person is thinking beyond deeply, the person is going somewhere thinking and then coming out with cognition. So, biologically, I am not an expert, but biologically, they are saying that brain is a set of neurons. And each neuron is an activation function. Each neuron has an activation function. So I have lots of neurons in me. And when I'm delivering this lecture, certain neurons are activated which are kind of forcing me to speak certain things. So my thoughts are governed by what neurons are activated. Cats and dogs here, I'm taking a simple problem. So I want to build a classification model given images and to classify whether that image is of a dog or that image is of a cat. So I could create layers and layers of neurons. See, the design of a model, the configuration of a model is different than the problem that you solve. It's same like a human being. AI simulates human mind. So I can say that, okay, very intelligent guy also I can give a problem. This is an image, tell me what image this is. To a child also I can give a problem. This is an image, tell me what image it is. One will be accurate, one will not be accurate. That's fine. But neural network is design of that brain. So I could actually add layers of neurons. And I could design a configuration when its neuron gets activated and when not. Okay? Then maybe I can dedicate certain neurons to ears. If ears are falling, then most likely it's a dog. If nose is triangular, most likely it's a dog. If nose is round, most likely it's a pig. So there would be certain neurons which are focused on certain region of the image. That is again a technology job profile. Creating these kind of customized domains. This is again domain specific, right? My entire lecture today is going to be on domains because that is the next thing. This is a domain specific neural network to categorize images. And more images you provide to it for training, the more and more it will know what kind of images are of dogs and what kind of images are of. Alright? Now with this concept, let's go back to what we said about fine tuning. What happens internally is all these edges are numerical weights. It's very simple. It's not a complicated or overwhelming concept. All these are, every edge has a weight, some number associated with it. And when you give lot of images to it, it knows which neurons to activate when. And then it knows that, okay, these neurons when activated, it is a dog. These combination of neurons when activated, it is a cat. And to activate or disactivate a neuron, all you need to give is some weight at the input. So if I give some weight here, it will be activated. If I give some weight here, it will be not activated. So it's like a switch. It's an analog switch and not a digital switch. But it's a switch at the end. And with certain set activated and certain set not activated, certain possibility gets created out. To know, for the model to know what edge weights are, for the model to know what the edge weights are, you provide training data. And you say, look, this is a dog, this is a dog, this is a dog, this is a cat. So it builds that association. Okay, this kind dog, for this I have to activate this. This kind cat, for this I have to activate this. This concept got extended to something called as, everybody heard about metrics? Matrices. So this is a matrix at the end. This is just a matrix. Look at it also. This is a two-dimensional matrix. Okay. Now, we said that every model, including ChatGPT, is at the end of matrix. It's a transformation that it brings from input to output. Matrix is a transformation. Now, problem is the ChatGPT's matrix is very big because it is trained on trillions of data sets. But how about me bringing my account balance? How about ICICI Bank using that ChatGPT for its customers? We went back to the previous. We want to go back to that previous example. Can ICICI Bank, like I am a customer of ICICI Bank, and I say, what is my account balance? Can ChatGPT answer that? No. Can ChatGPT answer what is the average balance of the customers in ICICI Bank? How will it go? How will it compute the average? Can't, because it's a spot. It needs to be an accurate number. Today's average balance of ICICI Bank customers is this. Can it answer that? Right, it can't. It may guess, but it can't answer. How many female account holders are there in ICICI Bank and how many male account holders? Can it answer? No. So, what will a bank do to create a GPT for itself? What is the process in ICICI Bank to apply for a home loan? It will be a general document. But it can't answer the exact. You have to approach the bank. Try to go for a loan, right? So we are not there yet. And that's the way to go. That's the way to go. In next few years, I think that's where we will be. I would say that, okay, to do that, ICICI Bank can set up its own technology team and create an adapter. That adapter is trained on ICICI Bank's data set. Everything. Its policies, its customer data, its everything. Its employee data, the rules and regulations. Now that's an ICICI Bank adapter. Then the problem is, get to know the problem. Okay? This data set is very limited. It doesn't have an ability to give cognition to the model. To give cognition to the model, you need huge data set. Why ChatGPT has great cognition? Because it has a large data set. Cognition is still one. Now you are seeing only ICICI data set. So where are we there? We are not even talking about 0.01% of ChatGPT data. So OpenAI, DeepSeek, all of them said we will make our models such that you can integrate adapters with the model. So I get license from OpenAI, and then I build my adapter on top of that. What happens? I get the cognition of ChatGPT, and I get the data set of ICICI Bank. And together it gives me the answer as matured, because it's a matured model in the end, the GPT with my adapter. So So we call that as low rank adaptation. Low rank because it's a smaller matrix. It's only an ICICI bank matrix. And adaptation because you're adapting ChatGPT to this data. So fine-tuning language models is an excellent skill to have, a phenomenal skill to have. If you want to go in that direction, you're welcome to reach out. But that is one of the very important skills. Now there is one more related, since we are talking about fine-tuning. So there is one more thing that I want to call out is sometimes this is all we talked about is data fine-tuning. So I give some data to it and I use the cognition of GPT and I get an answer. The second type of fine-tuning is instruction fine-tuning. Now what's that? Is if you get a question about loans, I want you to go to ICICI Bank's loan guidelines. If you get a question about deposits, I want you to go to SBI Bank's deposit guidelines. If you get a question about academic policies, I want you to go to Mumbai University website. I am telling the GPT where to go based on my requirements. This is all about my requirements. It is not about global standards. So, as per the organization, my deposit accounts are in SBI. As per my organization, my loans are in ICICI. And my education policies, I follow Mumbai University policy. That is my requirement. It's not anybody else's. Somebody else has a different requirement. But that is my instructions and my guidelines. So, I create an adapter to give these instructions. Question, steps. Question, steps. So for each instruction, what steps to follow? And I create a small matrix for that. So again, same concept. So I create a small neural network, create that small low rank matrix, give it to the big GPT. So GPT knows that adapter to follow the instructions. It follows the instructions using its intelligence. Give an analogy, it's like I'm an adapter and Pawar ma'am is the actual GPT. So she using her intelligence, I will, with my small data set, I will use her intelligence and answer the questions. That is what fine-tuning is about. One more thing that has gone top-notch in the industries is reinforcement learning. Anybody heard of it? Yes. Okay. Yeah, so that you should know. This is very interesting. I was talking to Akare sir, actually, was talking about self-driving cars some time back. It is like I create a AI model and I let that AI model give some response. When it gives a response, I give it a reward if the response is right, and I give it a penalty if the response is wrong. So I create a reward function, I create a penalty function. Alright? So reinforcement learning, by the way, comes after everything. Because after everything, the model is ready. Now my concern is this model right? So what I will do is, once I create the model, I will add a reinforcement learning layer on top of that. And I will create a reward and penalty function with what are most likely questions and most likely answers. What I will do is, I will give that question to the model will answer. If the answer is wrong, I will give it a penalty. And if the answer is right, I will give it a reward. Plus 10, plus 5, whatever. And that reward goes as a feedback, or the penalty goes as a feedback. It again tunes its weights. So it's a post-training methodology. If you might have heard about today, there's a fancy term for that, human in the loop. They are saying that we don't want to trust the models blindly. We want to have some human to review for critical items. So human should certify. So there's a technology which comes reinforcement learning with human feedback. So you create a model, you have most likely questions and answers, you give those questions to the model, look at the answer, ask the human, are you okay with this answer? Yes, I am okay. They keep the weights intact of the metrics. Human says, no, I am not okay, change the weights. So that is reinforcement learning with human feedback. Again, a style to fine-tune language models. Okay, so with that we talked about fine-tuning. I'll move to the next slide actually, which is more shift the gears a bit, and then we'll again come back to fine-tuning. So yeah, actually, sir spoke about ethical and this is a very open area of research. By the way, again, if you guys want to aspire, and this is real story. I created some models. Okay, in my experience in different companies, I created some models for my business. And the business asked me, okay, you predicted the probability for this customer as 80%. Why should I trust him? Why should I trust that 80% of this customer is going to buy this product? Simple example. My use case was different. Why should I trust? So people are not trusting the outcomes even after so many things. I did reinforcement learning with human feedback during design time. I fine-tune the language models. I use the cognitive skills of GPT, but still trust becomes an issue. Why should I trust that the predicted premium of an insurance should be 10,000? Why should I follow that? I have my own guidelines. Why should I use AI? So explainable AI is the objective of explainable AI is to solve that gap. Its aim is to create trust in between the consumer and the AI developer. In simple words, right? So this model is actually trying to predict the premium of an insurance, and it is saying that I checked whether the person was previously insured. I gave maximum weightage to that. If the vehicle had some damage, I gave slightly less weightage to that. It's a car insurance. What is the age of the driver? I gave some weightage to that. I'm just putting some. In which region the driver is driving, I gave some weightage to that. And based on that weightage, what is the gender of the driver? I gave least weightage to that, so I'm not biased. Whether the person has driving license or not, I've given least weightage to that. Now probably somebody will say, no, this is object level. You should give more weightage to the driving license. Person should have driving license. Then I should go back, redesign my model to give weightage to that column. So explainable AI goes inside that complex neural network and understands. The key point here is the technology understands the technology. It is not that I am creating this manually. When I create a model, and after the model, when I add an explainable AI layer, the explainable AI layer will go inside my model and understand to what inputs it has given maximum weightage and to what inputs it has given minimum weightage. And it will give that transparently, saying, for these attributes, it has given more weightage, these attributes, it has given less weightage, and predictions are driven from these attributes. So business will look and say, no, this is objectionable, driving license should have more weightage. I should go as a technologist, change the weightage, tune the model, again go back to business. So business will start trusting the model. So it's called trustworthiness. Just to name few technologies that's not required probably in this conference is two very, very well-known models are live and chat. One is local and the other is global, you should know. A local one only looks at predictions for a specific area, or maybe I just look at, I'm just thinking how to make it simple, is I will look at certain predictions only of a model. The model made kind of multiple predictions, millions of predictions. I look at only certain predictions and try to create a mathematical model on that certain predictions. So like these are all the predictions that I made, and only I look at the certain predictions and I could see it's a linear trend. But if you look at it globally, it is not a linear trend. It is a complex mathematical function, but I look at it locally and create explanations. That's line. It's local. And SHAP is global, so it creates that global pattern. So you actually look at, sometimes, why this is very important is sometimes the business asks, how did you predict the potential needs only in US? It's a need prediction that we are talking about, customer need prediction. How do you predict customers in US? So that needs local explanations, because now you are targeting on a localized data set. But the second question that I would ask, or one more local example, how do you predict customers in India? Again, local example. Global example. Let's say problem global. How does the model in general identify needs? That's a different question, right? So, how does the model in general identify needs? This is a complex mathematical. But in both the cases, ultimately this is what matters. You may come across that in India, driving license matters more than in US. That's fine. For example. So that's what explanation and explainable AI is about.
Keyword will be trust.
Keyword will be trust. Keyword will be trust. Keyword will be to get confidence, and also these models, these days are also used for testing. So we do a lot of test automations, and when you create a model, we usually use explainable AI to test the models. What explanations are it generating?
White box testing.
White box, yeah. It is like a very white box test, and then you actually in the test case you write this attribute must have highest weightage, and then you ask explainable AI what weightage it gives. It doesn't give highest weightage to this attribute, test is failed. So automated testing usually also uses that. Coming to something again, we are back and forth going in language. Somebody needs to keep track of time. My overrunning. You need to tell me that I need to shut up. Okay, so yeah. So look, there is one fundamental. I think after this, briefly touched upon context engineering. Okay, so that is also a very big boom today on how do you give right context to the language models. Now we are going back to prompt engineering. We talked about fine tuning. We talked about small examples to prompt. Now we are actually talking about, if I have a document, let's say I have a document, say Patkar-College's admission guidelines. There are some guidelines, I'm sure, that will say, okay, you need to be eligible, this should be percentage, whatever. So now that is a fixed document, and it is a finite size document, 5 pages, 6 pages, maybe 10 pages. So in that case, it's very big effort to create an adapter and have that adapter with GPT. So people try to solve that gap. And then they said, if your case is like you have limited data set and you still want to use cognition of this large language model like ChatGPT, so this is ChatGPT, you want to use its cognition, but your data set is so limited that creating an adapter now is like, you don't want to do that. 10-page document, 15-page document, 2000 pages document. Fine. Create your own database or a knowledge base and push your documents in that. People created retrievers and lookups around ChatGPT. And ChatGPT knows when to use these retrievers for lookups and how to find relevant documents. it again goes back to vector similarity. I asked it a question. Look at it. I asked it a question. So let's say that this has two admission guidelines. Patkar-Varde admission guidelines, BJTI admission guidelines. Take a very simple use case. Okay. And I asked it a question. What are admission guidelines for Patkar-Varde? The retriever looks at it first, converts the question into the vector, does the vector similarity, vector database, so it does a vector similarity, gets from that similarity only finds Patkar-Varde's guidelines, gives that guidelines as a contextual language model in prompt, and the language model answers. So vectors, linear algebra, please study. Please do study. I mean, when somebody used to teach me linear algebra in college, I used to know why I am doing this to you. But now I realize the importance of linear algebra and statistics. This is all linear algebra and statistics. If you know that, this is a cakewalk. Because it talks about cosine similarities between the vectors. It's a question and document similarity. They identify the context, give it to this intelligent guy. The intelligent guy will answer. Correct? So that is what. So that pattern by the way is called as retrieval augmented generation. Big word, but that is all about this. It retrieves the right augmentation for the language. Okay? Alright. So all done, said. So now what next? All of this is happening. People are now saying that why can't I do something? So with all these concepts, now what I am talking about is not a concept because I have already covered all of that. People are saying, why can't I create frameworks for this? Because all this work needs to be done. The reinforcement learning with human feedback needs to be done. Then fine tuning needs to be done. Retrieval augmentation needs to be done. So, you heard about LangChain? Anyone heard about LangChain? Good. Okay, Autogen. So Microsoft, OpenAI, all these people came together and they said we will simplify all of this for language models. We will create our programming languages that will allow you to work with language models to enable these features. And the way they work is very simple, very simple. It's the simplest technology to understand. It is just the work that you need to implement. Understanding is very easy. Okay. So you have a language model. The frameworks are you can create tools. One tool will go to Patkar-Varde, one tool will go to BJTI, one tool will go to some hospital, one tool will go to ICAC bank, one tool will go to some other organization. In between you can have another GPT to which some other tool will go. So you create these tools around the well-trained model. So that is what we call it as creating surrounding tools. And there are frameworks that allow you to create those tools. And again, you don't have to create these tools by yourself, right? So you just ask the GPT itself to create the tools. So you ask the GPT that I want to create a tool that will go to Patkar-Varde's website. And this is a link to Patkar-Varde's website. This is its home page. Create one tool for that. Create one tool to go to the guidelines of Patkar-Varde. So it will go to that. Create another tool. And then have all these tools integrated with GPT. And now answer the questions. So when it gets the question, it will first identify which tool it needs and how it can do that. Each tool will have a description. Very important. Each tool will have a description. Tool 1, it is responsible to give admission guidelines. Tool 2, it is responsible to give faculty information. Tool 3, it is responsible to give fees information. Now I ask a question. The question is matched with the description. And the likely match, that's factor similarity, the likely match that tool is invoked, that tool gets the data, sets the other context and gives the answer. That's simple. So, and these tools are very simple to create. They are basic functions of linear algebra. Okay? So that is one, yeah, this is a fancy slide, I will not go through this. I just added it out of my passion. But we still talk a bit. So all this was happening, by the way. Now stay with me. All this was happening, and people said, interesting story. Okay, somebody said, you're only talking about human mind. AI, only human mind you are talking about. AI simulates human mind. AI simulates human mind. What about the complete human being? Okay, so they came up with a concept called as agent. We heard about agentic AI. So agents are the outside orchestration. So it's like brain, the intelligence, which is the model, and agents sit in between that brain and us. Alright? So agent gives everything else. It's a responsibility of the agent to create an input data set or get the input data set from different tools. It is the responsibility of the agent to format the output. It is the responsibility of the agent to call different services that it needs, for a temperature service to know today's temperature, call some service of university to know students' marks. So service layer exists. You could give some live streaming to it. You could give a data storage to it. So essentially, you are creating a complete human being. That is the inspiration of creating an agent. Use a GPT as a brain, equip it with tools so the brain is customized, fine tune it with tools so that the brain understands intricacy of your data. Now give it all other surroundings, like human being takes effort. Hey, I will go here and do this. I will go here and do this. I will go here and do this. All of those inputs, outputs, and services that the human being uses, equipped it with them as an agent. The entire structure, we call it as an agentic AI. So now the world is moving towards creating agents. So I create different agents for different purposes. Now, then they say that creating a universal agent is helpless. Create one agent that represents a heart surgeon. Create one agent that represents a professor of chemistry. Create one agent that represents a professor of physics. All that becomes possible because of this orchestration mechanism. Because now it's a game of creating data sets.
Aim to replace?
It's very hard. So, on a fun part, I was listening to Javed Akhtar. Javed Akhtar ने बोला एक बार, Javed Akhtar को पूछा कि will it replace music directors? So he gave an answer that I like actually. Entertainment in this. हमारा दिल टूटा है, AI का कभी दिल नहीं टूटा। हमने जो ऊपर नीचे देखा है वो AI ने नहीं देखा। So things that come from heart, it can't. Definitely it can't. But you will make it as a nice supporting tool. Like language people have already established. Creative jobs will remain. Yeah, it will be like Copilot, exactly. So these efforts are very commendable, and you look at these statistics. This is done by an organization. If you look at it, by 2024, the agentic AI development is going to cross $1.5 billion. And we are sitting here in 26, which is $20 billion. So this is a way to go. Okay, so it's a creation of agents is a very nice skill to have. And
it's very simplified. It's not as technical as I am sounding. Google created a recent kit called as Agent Development Kit. Anybody heard about it? So there's an agent development kit. You drag and drop and you create agents. So one box actually gives you all this. So you drag, you get an agent. So you get all this. And then you click here, input sources. You click here, and just fill it. Yeah. Cloning. So you create agents. The creation of agents, people are simplifying because people know this is what is going to happen. You'll see a lot of agents. There is a very good research done by MIT. Recent paper, very recent paper, and it is called as Nanda. MIT Nanda project. And you know what that says? That says that world is going to, just like you have Facebook, which is a social network of human beings, you will have social internet of agents. And I could ask ChatGPT like this, that Air India is offering me a flight to US at 2 lakhs. Can you give me a better cost? Then an Indigo agent will come, I will give you at 1,90,000. Can you give me a better cost? Okay, Air France will come, I will give you at 1,50,000. That is what Nanda talks about. That we have internet of agents, and all these internet of agents will work with combination of ChatGPT. See, it's a combination of ChatGPT with these external tools. Keep that in mind. I mean, my whole lecture is based on that, I think. So, you use the combination, you use somebody who is very intelligent, and you give it all the surrounding so that that intelligent guy answers all that is needed. Alright? So, read about Nanda. Alright, these are some, I can skip this actually. It's not much needed. So, should I talk about this? I'll not talk about this. Okay, so I think with all this information that has been exchanged, I'll keep it open for questions now. Are there any questions that you all have which you feel I can answer? And I hope this was a bit helpful.
So like industry perspective on the tools which, of course, in research we are using many of these tools. Industry implementation angles we the financing perspective.
Thank you. So, try to continue actually from where you left.
So the planning is good.
You're all on the spot. So. Any questions? No questions? Okay.
Just 2 questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your name?
Tejas.
Tejas. Okay. Hi, Tejas.
Hello. So my question is, the entire lecture you said that AI is going towards very specified domain, right? But the dominant narrative that was when ChatGPT launched, when OpenAI launched ChatGPT, was that we are entering into narrow AI and AGI. There was a dominant market narrative, right? The AGI will come and will take our job and stuff. But now we are going towards very specific AI and AGI. So how did that shift happen from AGI to agents?
See, the shift, like ChatGPT, I would put it this way. I would really put it this way. The purpose of, so ChatGPT was a paper.
Yeah.
It was a paper. So, and the purpose of that paper, if you read that paper, was very clear to say that we can build cognition, given information, we can give you answers. And they also claim that we can introduce some novelty. Given information, we can introduce some novelty, and it gives some percentage. It said some percentage, I don't remember, but it said that we have an ability to introduce novelty because they also did all the fine tuning. So it's not that ChatGPT has not done the fine tuning. It's not that ChatGPT is a core model. The model, why do you, if they are core models, why do you think DeepSeek and ChatGPT respond differently to the same problem? If they are same models, then ideally they should respond same. Correct?
They respond differently because all of this framework, agents, everything was already built in it. Now to personalize it, they said we will externalize what we built. So now you are adding few more layers on top of already what layers they have. So fine tuning is not new. It has already happened. Now you are doing it furthermore. Correct? So for example, you take my brain, you give it some information, and you create a new version of my brain, version V2. That is fine tuning of my brain. And ChatGPT already created so many such versions. And that's why you see it. What is the difference between ChatGPT 4 and 5.1? Are they creating a new model? No. The cognition is carried over. New surroundings are getting created. Yeah, so it's one and the same level.
And second question is, with the data, is there a law of diminishing returns happening? After a point, the data, even if you put more data here, output is not as good as it used to be.
Say that again.
Is there a law of diminishing returns happening? So if you put a lot of data, the models become better. But is there a point that after which data stops making it better and actually working as a model?
Thanks for asking. I wanted to call that out and I actually missed. So, by the way, there is one research that has happened where these models are said that they have reached the maximum cognition. And the research says that just like, see, all these models are trained on text at the end of the day. But a human being, when we learn, how do we learn? We learn by pictures, we learn by audios, we learn by videos, multi-model data. And that training has not happened for ChatGPT. So now they are saying generative models have attained maximum cognition on the textual data. We want to shift to all of these images and train them. So don't be surprised if you see GPT-6, which is trained on multi-model data. So you are asking the right question. And that work is happening. Right. Is good on time?
Yes.
Good on time. Any other questions? Yeah.
Sir, in the today's generation, we just do message to the GPT and other AI tools, but the GPT is also giving us some limitations, but sometimes they can do mistakes. But manually जो हम लोग मैसेज ये जो हम लोग करते हैं, तो कभी कभार वो एक्सपेक्टेशंस वो उससे ज़्यादा आती नहीं है GPT का. ओके, फॉर एग्जांपल बैंक्स में या कोडिंग हम लोग करते हैं, तो यूजुअली हम लोग ऐसे मदद करते हैं किसी के कोई भी वैल्यूएशन, कोई भी किसी के उस चीज के लिए. तो कभी कभार क्या करते हैं, वो मिस्टेक्स तो कर भी सकता है. तो हम लोगों को किस तरह से हम लोगों को सॉल्यूशन करना चाहिए भाई मैन्युअली, और हम लोग अभी इस पे मदद तो करने वाले है ही नहीं एआई में, क्योंकि वो कभी कभार गलतियां कर भी सकता है, उसका एक मेजर है. but the majority of the psychologists के हिसाब से, but if the humans at the times in the पहले के जनरेशन के टाइम पे most of the developers people can do logic, इस खुद के लॉजिक से हम लोग बना सकते हैं, ठीक है. but in the today's generation, अभी के आने वाले जो जनरेशन है, we should अभी कैसे हम लोग को चैट जीपीटी या कोई भी एआई टूल से हम लोग के साथ भी अच्छे खासे हम लोग को मदद करना, या तो एक इस तरह से हम लोग को डील करने का इन द फ्यूचर में.
Yeah, if I'm understanding your question right, you're saying if the GPT is answering wrongly, how do you deal with it?
Yes, in the future.
Yeah. So there is one research paper again. We're reading a lot of research papers these days. So again and again that word comes. So there is a paper on self-reflection. Self-reflection talks about how well the model answered itself. And what they are saying is you give the same answer to multiple models and you give same question to this model multiple times.
and then you average out the answers and give it an answer. So people are coming out with all those strategies. Self-reflection is a very, very phenomenal concept. Actually, it gives the same question to the model multiple times. So actually, when you get an answer from ChatGPT, you don't get its first answer. You see, when you ask a question, you see thinking and it does something. You have observed that small gray color text?
Yes,
That's where the self-reflection is happening. It gives the question, then it answers, but it says, no. But I think this, but user may be thinking this. So I will again revise the user's prompt. So it revises the user prompt.
Yes, sir.
Again others. So the self-reflection loops, you configure actually 5 or 6, and at the end you get an answer.
Yes, sir. But हम लोग ने भी इस तरह से हम लोग ने बहुत सारे मैंने AI tools में we just take this Gemini अभी एक nano बनाना करके sometimes I just upload my photos on my own तो क्या करता है I just give the prompt okay तो मैसेज वो जल्दी आ जाता है वो कभी कभी बना भी देता है वो okay by the बना भी देता है वो but sometimes is do very like अगर हम लोग ने इसको फिर से भेजेंगे तो सही तरह से होता नहीं है
See, inconsistency between the language models is always there. Okay, we have to live with it for some time. It is. Are you asking वो सही तरह से क्यों नहीं होता है or are you? That's what you're asking?
Yes, sir.
Because it is based on it is dealing with a large amount of information. So inconsistency is accepted as an open problem right from design time. It is not a new thing that we are observing it now because we are using it. But while developing only, this inconsistency was expected. We are dealing with this inconsistency. So there's a metric called as stability that I have come across. What is the stability of your language model? 0.8, 0.9, and how do you judge the stability? Again, by giving same question multiple times. Sometimes you rephrase the question. You give the question, but next time you give the same question by rephrasing it. Again, rephrase it. Again, and you test it and you fine tune it. So testing the model, fine tuning it, using stability specific data sets, all of this is a part of building a model itself. And you have to live with certain inconsistency as of now. I don't think the aspiration of AI is to be 100% accurate.
Yes, sir. But the most of the employees अभी तो बहुत सारे लोग ने इसे सोशल मीडिया में लेके कि AI जॉब लिया जाएगा. But at the time of the old in the education system, ये पहले के टाइम पे तो उसमें सिखाया नहीं था AI के में. Most of the internationals में सिखाया है this AI क्या होता है. But when we realize कि AI अभी सीखना चाहिए कोई भी अच्छे खासे टूल्स के लिए. For example, of Excel, PPTs and other things. But हम क्या करेगा वो open AI कैसे भेजेगा? But हम लोगों को करना पड़ेगा ये सब चीज. Okay, अगर नहीं भी होता तो हम लोगों को खुद से मैन्युअली करना पड़ता है सोच समझ के. क्योंकि वो GPT चाहता नहीं है कि मैं कुछ करूँ. वो GPT क्या चाहता है कि तुम कुछ करो, कुछ अच्छा लॉजिक निकालो इसमें, PPTs में, Excels में.
Correct. So those are. So what you are highlighting is those are the actual drawbacks of GPT today, and we need to solve it by all this ecosystem. So point acknowledge that we don't have 100% accuracy today, and that's why even appraisal pointed out, use it responsibly. Right? We have to use the AI tools available today responsibly because it comes with certain drawbacks. And with the ongoing development in AI, these drawbacks are expected to go. Of course, we expect that. Right? Where we reach, only time will tell. But that's how it is. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We extend our sincere gratitude to Mr. Kunal Patkar-Varde for delivering such an enlightening and thought-provoking session on application of research in industry. The session clearly demonstrated how academic research can be effectively translated into real-world industrial solutions. So thoughtfully discussed the role of research in driving innovation, product development, and process improvement while emphasizing the importance of strong industry academia collaboration. Key aspects such as technology transfer, commercialization, data-driven decision-making, and career opportunities in industrial research were also highlighted, inspiring students to align their research efforts with industry requirements. We are truly thankful to you, sir, for sharing your valuable insights and expertise. We will now disperse for lunch. Post lunch, we shall commence either presentation as per the respective tracks and venues. Our volunteers will be available to guide you in case of any assistance. The presentation will be begin at 1:50 p.m. sharp at the respective venues. Track 1, Commerce and Management, Computer Lab, second floor above canteen. Track 2, Arts and Humanities, Boardroom, near the college entrance gate. Track 3, Technology, College Auditorium. Track 4, Science and Applied Science, Microbiology and Biotechnology Laboratory, first floor, main building. And last but not the least, all are requested to assemble for the valedictory session at 4:30 p.m. I wish all presenters and participants a rewarding, insightful, and enriching conference experience. Thank you and have a wonderful day ahead.